Mhm.
Also, people dramatically underutilize the support you can garner from just being really clear in your communication with the people in your life and like in
Mhm.
your home,
Mhm.
like realigning responsibilities with like your energy levels and what you're
Mhm.
willing to do.
I saw this really cool thing, and I'm totally blanking on the name of it. I'm sure y'all, if you've browsed TikTok and you've somehow have landed on the like relationship side of
Yeah.
TikTok,
The
you've
deck.
probably
Are you
seen this.
talking about the deck?
The deck, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't, if you could, I don't know if you can remember the name, but there's a deck, you can order it from Amazon, and it's a shit ton of cards, and it's basically every single thing you can even think of. Physical, mental, emotional,
To
labor
like
that,
take care of a family.
yeah, to take care of a household and run a household and take care of a family. It's everything from like dentist appointments to drop off and pick up to meal planning to creating Christmas time magic, if that's your thing, to cleaning the house and doing laundry and cooking, literally everything that you could think of. It's all on a card. And you sit down with your partner, your household, and you divide up, you
Ah,
do a division. What's it called?
fair play.
Fair play. That's exactly what it is. There's a
There's a
book that
book
you
that
can
also goes
read
with this.
that from my experience of what I've heard is you need to really understand fair play. So like read the book first, buy the cards, and then you can like implement the cards. But you could also do this in a conversation as
Yeah,
you're like doing
I
the
feel
me
like this
version.
is something we did naturally, but
Yeah.
like I honestly, I cannot tell you how many years it took to like fucking it up
Oh,
consistently before
and
I was like, if I don't fix this, this is going to be a massive
the
issue.
skill that we have now is a tremendous, but the skill that we have now is not only have we divided them up and we feel confident about the things, but like as seasons change or life changes, we can easily be like, hey, I know this has been my thing for a while and I'm going to need to give it to you for a little bit. And it's just a very clear, like, okay, yeah, like it just changes the conversation of like resentment that can sometimes
Oh,
build up in your
yes.
household.
Yes. Oh my
It's
gosh.
so helpful.
When people know what their things are and then they own them from start to finish, from conception to fulfillment, it is just. And now, I will say there are a couple things in our world that we assist each other on
Same,
consistently,
same.
but we do divide it consistently
Like
the
this
same.
part I own, this part you
Yeah.
own.
Yeah.
Yes, same.
And it's a small thing, but we used to fight about it
Right,
and now we don't
right.
because we got really clear on which part's mine and which part's his.
Well, and I also think if you're in a household where, and this is most people, so don't feel alone, but where the emotional labor isn't as valued as physical
Mhm.
labor,
Mhm.
you can begin to see everything has its own physical card. So even like thinking about one of them is like the well-being of your child, like the good merit of your child. So like learning about child development and skills you want to instill into your child and then choosing to parent in a way that supports that. Who's doing that in your house? Who's doing that? But also even within your marriage or relationship or friendships or as a
Yeah, and it
person.
doesn't even matter. I mean, having kids absolutely affects this
Right.
for sure.
There's
But like
additional parts,
but if
but
you don't have children, it's still for sure in my household, Jared absolutely does more physical labor than I
sure.
do,
Yeah.
but I do way more mental labor. I am absolutely the one thinking about how to make Christmas feel magical even
Yep.
without children.
Yep.
I'm thinking about how to make it feel like we still have holidays even if we don't have kids waking up who are excited. Like
Right.
I'm still thinking about like little nuggets of things we introduce into our world that make it feel fun and like we're celebrating.
Yeah.
And that takes so much more energy than we give ourselves credit for.
Yep.
But the other piece of this, aside from just making sure we have support in the business and at home, and part of it is being really good communicators, we've also created an okayness around allowing ourselves to raise a white flag where we
Yeah.
are okay with adding more help, and that help changes over time. um like it's not a small thing to be full-time caregivers for a 95-year-old woman with
Mhm.
dementia, but it's not just us. Like we also have people coming in multiple days a week to aid in the assistance of that.
Mhm.
If we're talking about the house, like the house is more work than our old house,
Absolutely.
period.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, okay, Jared used to do all the yard work for all the things. but now we're willing to outsource this bit and like get the yard cleaned up twice a year, or like have the pool guy come or whatever.
Yeah.
But I can't elaborate enough how the communication and support necessary in your life part and in the work part, how they have to be integrated.
Yep. Yep.
Because if work is stressful, then like the life will be stressful unless you adequately communicate, hey, I need this thing. So I will literally say certain days of the week, I'd prefer you make dinner on this day, or
Yes.
I
Yes.
would prefer that we do a simple
Yep.
dinner
Well,
on
and
this
my
day.
favorite part of I could feel like I could have a whole conversation about fair play, but my favorite part of that piece in particular is the example I saw is what is also the minimum standard of care for the person meeting that thing?
Yes.
And then what is the like the ideal standard of care? So, like, for example, one of the things that we would argue about when I asked for, hey, on 1 day a week, I used to be the only person who meal planned, grocery shopped, and cooked. And then I was like, I can't do every single day, but I need you to take 1 day a week. And this was years ago. So he was like, okay, yeah, I got it. Well, every time it was his day, we went to Chipotle. And I'm like, this isn't fucking fair because you get to just go out and get burritos and that's your day. You don't have anything to clean up. You don't have anything to plan. You don't have anything to shop for. But the missing piece was what was my version of the minimum way of handling that task and
Yeah.
what would I be okay with if he chose that every single time, and that wasn't talked about.